Which one? Which one? Oh, no. Oh. Yeah. All right. In development or all live?
There's a 2 of them that's live. You can see I got live sites.
Okay.
And then you have the rest of them that's in development.
Got it.
You can see the different templates.
Okay. Perfect. All right. All right, you guys ready to rock and roll? Ready? All right. I'm going to close this, close this. All right, you guys, I'm going to give you guys some examples. We'll pause on doing the site reviews for a minute, and I'm going to show you some other dealers who were in a similar class like this, who are somewhere in the middle of design and development. And I'm going to show you ones that are not live yet, so you can see them in mid-production to get an idea of the difference, okay? And I'm just picking from some random ones. So these are the stages. This is our CRM system where we manage all of the different projects, keep track of all calls and notes and emails and who's read what and who's done what and what's next and everything else. So these are the stages for each one of these website projects. This one is in final review, and it's a first review request. So we typically go through 3 final reviews and make any final changes at the end. I'm going to pull up, this is their live site. Just like I'm reviewing your live site right now, the one I click on first is going to be just like your site is. It sits there and it does its own thing while a different website is being developed in the background, in a dev site, a staging site. And this is their new site. So let's see here. So this is essentially what they came to the table with. And every one of our designs is constructed depending on what people bring as assets. So these guys are bringing essentially home, about, and contact us. Not much, right? There's not a lot of content on here. This is a website builder, a GoDaddy website builder, typical for what you see in this site is kind of a site. So this is their current site. Every one of these pages has a title, and that title is what gets filed in Google's drawer. So home, what kind of a drawer would that go into? Any ideas? What kind of do you have in your
Location of phone number.
This is how many pages are in the drawer title home. So what kind of a drawer is this in your kitchen? Junk drawer. They have another page called about. What kind of a drawer? Junk drawer. Contact us. What kind of a drawer? Junk drawer. Our services. What kind of a drawer? Junk drawer. FAQ. There you go. Okay, so that's what they started with. They're in a class similar to this, and this is what they have live right now, and this is their new site. So mind you, I guarantee they didn't come with a budget for a whole bunch of content. This is strictly the benefit of starting with the Amana framework website. So inside here, we pre-construct all the pages based on what we know they want to bring to market. even though there's no content or limited content on there, it might just say we provide AC installation services in X, Y, and Z. The page is there, it gets into the drawer, and then they need to focus on improving each page one at a time. Oh, am I in front of it? Oh, sorry. I got cold for a minute. So you'll see AC, heating, heat pump, ductless, who we serve, other services. That's when you'll drill into indoor air quality, air purifiers, humidifiers, ventilation services, filtration. Every one of our clients, when they first start, they fill out a form called an onboarding form, which is a bunch of literally click the box, click the box, click the box. It has a list of 3,000 different things we know you guys want to bring to market, at least some of them. Some people sell fireplaces, some sell hot tubs, some sell plumbing, electrical, heating, air conditioning, ductless, geothermal, whatever it is. All you do is click all the things that you sell, and then whatever's in the framework that we can include, we include that out of the gate, even though there's no content. Then we get into promotions. The way promotions should be done is you should have a promotions page for each individual service type. So you should have air conditioning repair or air conditioning promotions, heating promotions, heat pump promotions, and so forth. That way, when someone is looking for new AC system promotions or discounts, or how much does an air conditioner system cost in blank, that there's something specific to that. Next is resources. This is another benefit. All of our sites include a terminology area, an FAQ area, a SARE calculator, and a troubleshooter. And we've been building these over the years, so we always come out with something new as we learn. It's just a lot of our dealers, they're friends. I mean, they give us ideas. They're like, it'd be cool if you had a BTU calculator, and then they make us try and figure out the math for a year and a half. Right? But we try and build things, and then everybody gets the advantage of having those. So essentially what this system did is we made it so anytime you use any of these acronyms or words throughout the entire website, it automatically on hover shows the definition, which is a cool feature. Consumers like it a lot. That's that one. This is an FAQ. So technically this is a junk drawer. Why? All of our clients have this same page on their website. So these pages we set to no index, no follow. That means it has no SEO value to you or anyone else. Everybody gets the same technology. This is for humans, not for robots. Some things we do are for people. Some things are for robots. This is definitely for humans, not for robots. And it has each of these, and you'll notice it's connected to and communicates with the terminology one that we just looked at. So because the word refrigerant is used, it's pulling the term from the terminology functionality. That's that. Next is SARE calculator. This is a tool that a lot of our guys will use to go show consumers with the higher efficiency system how much could they potentially save. This is based on the number of cooling hours for your location and the what? The kilo something? The watts? What is it? That too. I'm getting there. They edit it. Yes. It'll change. Yeah. Then essentially this is a troubleshooting system. We originally built this because we started seeing our clients get negative reviews for simple fixes. Like they would get a lead off the internet, go out to somebody's house, change out a battery and a thermostat, and then some consumer would freak out and leave all these nasty reviews, and we're having panic attack about, oh my gosh, what just happened? So we built this to try and fix that. As we were like, okay, well maybe at least if we give consumers the ability to try and troubleshoot something real simple, like is it on? Is it set to cool? Like, we're doing our best. So that's essentially what we built to try and see if we could give them. And of course, we lean on you guys to build stuff like this. We have to ask for help, and you just feed us stuff that makes us smarter about what you do, and then we can build cool gadgets and gizmos, over time. I will fully admit I am the one who peeled the paint off of, prior to being married, peeled the paint off of my vent on the wall because I thought I needed a filter and a return vent. So don't claim to no. I'm the extra, just like all the rest of your clients. I'm a good definition of that. This turned into, who is it? Mohart. Is Chris on? Okay. That turned into something cool, and I want to say this is the site that has it. Yes. So that has evolved into a chatbot system that we built to try and get okay, so when I asked earlier, is your bot manned or not? So our bots are not manned because we don't trust humans very much. So our bot is all AI, and it just works much better. It works 24 hours a day. It doesn't call in sick. I don't have to worry if it remembered to turn itself on in the morning. Like, it just works. So anyway, we built the troubleshooting system in here. And I think because I used this yesterday, it's already going to show. But this is messaging. It's ringing my watch at the same time. The dealer's getting notified at the same time. They get instant notifications on there. And that's what the troubleshooting system turned into. This got built into that HVAC or the chatbot. Okay. So top right corner or the top side, this is what we consider kind of a junk bar a little bit in the beginning. It's home, about us, Amana brand, financing, and so forth. We'll hold content that doesn't necessarily scroll down, but we want it to stand out when someone first comes to the site. But the main two things we want is click to call, schedule service, click to call, schedule service. Depending on what website you go to and what functionality they have. For example, these guys have email, schedule service, request an estimate, apply for financing, make a payment. So depending on what software they're using, if they're doing financing and they're using Payzerware or Payzer to take payments, all of that can be built into the site. Make sense? This gives you kind of an example. When I was talking earlier about your promotions not being text on the page but using graphics, that's what I mean about make them stand off the page. So each one of these containers, when he started, we don't have any content. There's nothing there. So this site is real small. It's a small website. It looks big, but technically it's a pretty small site. I think he's only got 2 or 3 pages that actually have content. So the pages will go in the drawer. They will not perform. Thank you to Amana for giving us something to put on the page, because otherwise we would have zip, zero, zilch, nothing. In order to get this page for AC installation in Cape Coral, Florida, by the way, let me just give you an idea of the difference. Your guys' competition is really low. In anywhere else in the nation, for the most part, competition is real tough. You guys are sitting pretty over here. This is easy. This is a fun playground for us. Most of the time, it's really tough. Really tough. So in order for him to compete for AC installation in Cape Coral, Florida, he's got to have 2,000 pages on the, or 2,000 words on this page. We got to have video. We got to have pictures. We got to have graphics. We got to build backlinks to the site. We got to promote the heck out of this to make this one page perform. Whereas you guys might be able to get away with 400 words on a page, a few graphics, and a little bit of promotions and some optimization to get that page to rank. Might not take as long. Okay. Better looking site compared to this? That's what it is. For him, because he had less than 5 pages, the cost for that is $1,575 a month. $1,500 one time. He used his accrual funds for it, and he pays $75 a month for hosting, maintenance, security, and support. No marketing. Not on that one. Make sense? Okay. So let me give you another need final go live. We'll go look at this one. This is their current site. So similar to what we see here, we have home, about us, junk drawer, junk drawer, junk drawer, junk drawer, junk drawer, junk drawer. The whole website doesn't have one page product or service that has anything to do with heating and air conditioning. Nice looking. No click to call phone number. So kind of all the same things that I'm talking about. They have all the cities on here, but no value because nothing is linked. They don't go to any page. Absolutely zero value. And here's their new site. Click to call. Oh yeah, sorry. Same thing. Each one of the structured pages, and it kind of give you an idea. But you see how we're trying to make it feel like home? We want the design to match the location. We need to really bring it home. The products and services, make it feel like home. Promotions, make them grand. Locations we serve, every one of these is linked. Even though they're not using Nearby Now and they have no reviews or check-ins or content, we still are going to link those pages because it's the right thing to do. Even though there's nothing on there other than saying we service this area.
You're building the store.
We have to build the store, yes. We're going to do what we know is necessary even if you come to the table with nothing. We're learning. So, and then we will just slowly add to it over time. But you get an idea. The footer and the header are really, really important because those exist everywhere. So making sure that the phone number is a click to call. That's going to actually place a call. That we can click an email. That social media links, we're actually telling them to do something. Follow us. I would prefer if it didn't say follow us. I would prefer if it says follow us on Facebook for our social media specials. Or special discounts for all Facebook followers. Like something's real specific. I'd prefer that. It depends on if people are willing to post specials on there. Same thing with, sometimes I'll see sign up for a newsletter. I would rather have it say join the club for offline or discounts available to our club list members or something like that. Something that gives them a little more amp. Schedule service, apply for employment, and sign up for a newsletter. Okay, so other kind of call to action. This is a call to action, trying to get them to schedule any hour of any day. This is trying to recruit, and this one is trying to build your list for future marketing efforts. All different actions.
So the schedule service, does that interact with like Service Titan or any of those softwares that are out there for?
Yeah, if you're working with Service Titan, we'll integrate their scheduling operation. If you don't have one, we have a solution. I think it's $29 for it, and it has a full online scheduling system built into it, and that one's easy. It has online scheduling. It has we have one of our contractors is using that system to, who is that? I can't remember. I can't remember the company. I think they're out of Chicago. They're using our online scheduling system. For a quoting engine. They said something like upload 5 images, like it's a picture of a sticker and the side of a panel and something else. And they said upload 5 images. We'll give you an online quote without coming out, and we guarantee to be within $300 of that quote. He's not going on any jobs to quote them from there. I'm blown away at what he's doing volume-wise, and he's not leaving his office. It's different. He's also doing virtual tours. So he's using Google Hangout, video chat, and FaceTime to do virtual walkthroughs. If he feels uncomfortable about quoting, he's doing a FaceTime walkthrough to give some kind of an estimate. But his logic is that it's not always perfect. But he closes so many jobs without having to drive anywhere that when one doesn't work out, he doesn't care. He's like, it's a wash in the. It's a different business model. Not saying everybody's ready for it, but I think we have to become ready for a new generation that, yeah, we need to get there. We need to figure out how to get there. Okay, so that gives you guys just a couple examples. They're live. Need final review. We'll go look at a different one. So different design. I think this is a rental website. So we have a rental website. It's $100 a month. I believe this is it. And that's for someone who has a disaster. So they come to the table, someone stole their site and it's down. Their old web company lost it. It got hacked. Whatever the issue is where you're like, I need a website in 3 days, then that's what this site is for. So we can launch it and customize it real quick. We can have it up in less than 7-day turnaround time. It's small. It's real short, but it's clean. It matches their logo and they've got a site up quick. All right. And I could tell that I just clicked on that. His site is down. I just saw GoDaddy's. So that was an urgent need. I need a website quick. This one, these guys are out of Chicago, I believe. Illinois. This is his old site. Now, this company, they have it down when it comes to identifying a brand and a message and creating a niche that is making them the number one in their marketplace. He used to work for or is a fireman. He is a fireman. And so we're geofencing and geotargeting all of the fire, police, emergency, EMT, completely geofencing this, marketing to Facebook groups that are related to that. I mean, what a niche. And he's the only heating and air conditioning company that owns that marketplace. That is his baby. This is his old site.
So you mean he's listening to the scanner and then hitting?
So I'm not going to take credit for him doing well. He's doing well on his own. All we did is tighten it up with a little bit nicer look and feel. So he's doing well. He definitely has a niche and a message that stands out. What we tried to do is capitalize on that niche and that message by bringing the brand into the site in more areas, really making it stand out so it feels like you're in the fire and emergency space. This is his new site that he's in final review, getting ready to go live. You like it? It's okay. We just want to make it stand out compared to this. Yes. Yeah, the shields everywhere. That's real specific shield. We have another client like that, Washington. First response? Yep. So Seattle, Washington, you're going to see the graphics and the images. Similar things, similar shield. We brought the brand into their trucks. I mean, it's cool. Yeah. So anytime you can create some kind of niche that resonates with a community, if it's military or if it's veterans or firefighters or educators, or if you can find some kind of a niche that you focus on and make your brand stand out so you're not just a heating and air conditioning company, that's helpful. For our family in the real estate world, all these realtors want to sell houses to anybody because 90% of them are broke and that next sale matters. For our family, all we do houseboats, floating homes, waterfront, and vessels. If it's on the water, if it's a boat, if it floats, anything like that. So if you look for houseboats for sale in Seattle, Washington, you're going to get our Special Agents Realty website. But all the other realtors, there's not a search term on the planet that they can go after and rank for. It's too competitive of an industry. They can't compete with Zillow and Redfin and all that. So my mom, who's the broker, her ability to focus on something real specific and have a niche, that gives them the ability to stand out where everyone else is kind of flailing in a big pond. So just things to consider. If you can think about anything that makes you stand out as a niche, that brand and design can be brought with it. Okay. All right, so let me show you the Amana framework so you can get an idea of essentially what we've built. This version that we're looking at right now technically doesn't launch until next week. Okay. Chris, you with us? Let me see. I can see him. And let me get
Hello?
on. Hi. How are you?
Hi, I'm Calden.
I can't see
I'm
you.
doing all right.
We have a whole bunch of amazing people here that are very interactive and ask lots of awesome questions.
Hello, amazing people.
All right. So I was just going to go through and give them an idea on essentially what we've created with the newest themes that we're launching. Right now, if you want to see the current themes on HVAC marketing website, and under website plans, it goes website templates. These are each of the layouts that are from websites that I've just been showing you. There's links to each one of these different kind of designs. That's the rental design. This is if you're brand new, you don't have much to transfer, first time website, you've got maybe 2 pages, 3 pages, you'd fit in here. If you have an existing website and everything needs to be replaced, it would fall in this. And this is if you have some kind of e-commerce, if you want to sell filters, if you want to showcase products, if you want to put the amount of products on the site and you want to showcase them in a wish list to be able to do pricing or quotes, that's what those are for. This frame is the newest version, and essentially, Chris, do you want to talk a little bit about how these are constructed with Elementor so that they can make those changes quickly on demand?
Oh yeah, sure.
You want
absolutely.
the here? I'm gonna stop share. I'm gonna give it to you. Hi, Ms. Bev.
Let me log in real quick.
All right.
So is this a kind of meeting you have with the contractor as you're going
Improv 2.
Yep. Yeah, you guys will all see each other. You'll see their screen. All of your meetings will be like this.
So, can edit it with our page builder. And very, very flexible page builder. Gives you the ability to have a lot of design power at your fingertips, on top of being able to just see what you want on the page. You can just click and edit it on the page. So it's pretty straightforward. When it comes to editing the details of it, changing the sizes isn't an issue, changing locations of stuff. Let's see. For example, if you like this layout, you can duplicate it and have 4 columns if you have another service, so it doesn't really take much. Inside of this, there's a large icon library provided by a font awesome. So there are just a horrendous amount of icons available. Your little palette is on your left-hand side here, allows you to quickly create buttons, and you can match the entire schema to your default colors. Currently, right now, there isn't a set schema for this design because
colors. We set it up so all your branding colors is a palette you choose from. That way, when you click on a button, it says apply palette. It makes sure you stay within your branding guidelines.
Right. Yeah, and like branding guidelines for these kind of color tones are awesome. If you don't have them, there's a color template generator. It's called Clayton. Clayton's a really, really cool tool to help you develop that standards guide. You can put in your base color, and you can compare your hot and cool colors, and find start to create a brand that represents you guys. It's always nice to have Twitter brand standards guide. I love looking at Twitter's brand standards guide because as a media person, if somebody tells you exactly how to represent the company and you don't have to guess on it, that's always sweet. Otherwise, we have 101 questions that you'll love filling out. Love the misuse, the do's and don'ts with the logo. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. Right here, you have all your different tones of color. That way your brand can be digested consistently wherever it's found. And you can incorporate it right into our page builder. So that's pretty legit with that, as well as your default fonts and colors. So when you drop items on the page, they're automatically configured. If you don't like that automatic configuration of the different types and brands, we have hundreds and hundreds of fonts provided by Google Font Library. So you can really make it appear to be whatever you'd like it to be.
Hey, Chris, do
So,
me a favor. Start a new page, and I'm going to give him a little intro to this while you create a new page, and we'll show him how easy it is to construct a new page. So
okay.
in our current designs and in most websites, adding a new page, you get a square box that has a chunk of text and a sidebar, and it looks like garbage. That's ours
Like this.
too. Yes, that's what it looks like, just junk. So what we've been working on building this for is essentially the ability to really, really make sure that every interior page looks as good as the front door. It has the same kind of curb appeal as your homepage of your website. If your homepage looks really hot, it looks gorgeous. We want to make sure that if they're coming through your AC page, AC repair page, that it looks gorgeous. If they're coming through your heater repair page, so building these pages one at a time, what it used to mean is you had to call a developer, you had to have a coder and a designer and everything else. Now, if you have someone with a little bit of skills, you have the ability to build a page using a drag and drop editor. So you have the benefit of a really well designed and developed website, but you don't need to call a coder and a developer if you want to play around and you want to make a page look pretty. You can do it yourself and not spend a penny on this kind of stuff as well. So, we're excited about this because we don't have this right now. We're getting ready to launch, and we're building essentially these libraries of different designs and layouts. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so just kind of starting a new layout now. This design also has a header and a footer design that's part of the template builder, which consists of the exact same tools that we're building the interior page with. So the header and footer can be designed separately as well, but they are consistent for faster page building and for a consistent user experience. So when you're choosing from your templates, you can select a bunch of pre-designs that you like on your other pages. If you like different areas, say it's the way your locations are showcased or so on, say it's a video slider layout. So if you like your layouts, you can actually save them and reuse them on your own page, or you can pull out from a library of ones that we have on a repository that you can just select from. So if you, for example, really like this layout, you can insert this entire layout.
So when someone, you guys are on page
Not
one of
connected
Google
to
for a
the
lot of
library.
different phrases, and once you get ranked on page one and that page is there, you got a half a second to convert those people. Otherwise,
Awesome.
It's really easy for them to click back and go next and go to the next website. So while launching a website's not going to give you, 100 uniquely designed, perfect, creative layouts, what will happen is you launch one well-constructed website and then improve this page and then improve this page and then improve this page. And ideally what you're doing is building cash machines all over the city for different services to make you money. Over time, you just keep improving each individual page one at a time. If you've got $400 available in accrual funds, don't wait until March. Have a full page customized with the content and the images and everything for that specific page. Focus on one page. Just do it one at a time as soon as you're comfortable. Make sense? Okay.
I was just showing how quickly it is to embed a YouTube video as well and, lay the page out with this. So height and height.
It's really easy.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do this yourself under any circumstances. You can have a web admin and you can throw it out and say, I want to improve this page, and we do it all for you. You don't have to. But if you want to, if you have someone in your office that's good at logging in there and they get used to, there's tutorial videos, they can learn how to do that. You have the functionality to have the ability to make it free to improve each page on your own. It doesn't cost you anything to improve the page once you have the framework. Either one works. Just depends you have time or money, choose. That's it. Make sense? Okay. All right, let me pause for just a second, Chris. And let me introduce Miss Bev. So Miss Beverly, she oversees the entire central region for all sales and strategy sessions. Hi, Miss Bev.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Where are you at this week?
It's cold there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's an understatement.
Let me think where I am today. I'm in Corina Del Mar, about a block from Newport Beach, but I'm behind my computer.
So the funny part was Clay and Bev, they both went to California to go do events, and they sent Mike and I here. I'm really happy they did because
And
we have a
can
great
you see
crowd.
behind me? That's called a money tree. You see it?
Yep.
And whenever y'all start joining CI Web Group, and then you've got all this, I don't know, and then it's going to be this.
Are you going to the slot machines later?
I went last week.
You're funny. You're great. Okay.
Welcome, you guys. I'm excited to work with you. Bring some dealers on, and we'll have some meetings. We'll have some fun on them, and more importantly, we'll help them grow their business.
You are fantastic. Thank you, Miss Bev. We're going to get you guys set up. So this is how you guys will have the meeting. You can see her. She can see your screen, vice versa, and just roll through. Thank you, you guys. All right, we have a short amount of time. We're ending a little early so we can get home before the blizzard takes us out. I'm just making everything way excessive because it's fun. Love you guys. Thank you.
Hi.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, you guys. Thank you. Okay. So, here's essentially what this turns into. What we did is we built, based on studying the top heating and air conditioning companies, we've pre-constructed all of the design elements inside the site, so it's not about one layout or one design. You can test. You can turn things on. You can turn things off. We can switch gears. We can see what works in your area. So for example, headers, we have already pre-designed number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. All of these different layouts performed well in heating and air conditioning companies in different regions and parts of the country. So we pre-built the site with every one of these as options. All we do is drag and say, turn this one on, turn this one on, turn this one on. It allows us to test and see what works with your client base, your market. We did the same thing with sliders and promotions. So you know how I've kind of picked out on everybody's websites that these need to look different? So we created all of these different designs. If right now we need to get cars out of our driveway, get trucks out of our driveway, and we want to focus on tune-up specials or service specials, then we may want to put the promotions layout first. We may want to have some kind of great tune-up special.
How quickly does that go live? Like immediately?
Yeah. So we can now flip any time for any season. So when our Chihuahua comes banging at your door and says, the weather's changing, I think we should change these out, give them a thumbs up, buy an image, and let them swip it for you. It's just one image, or send them an image if you have something that we can use. Otherwise, we got to buy a picture each time we do it. But yes, it's instantaneous.
And that's included in the monthly or quarterly fee?
Maintenance is, yep,
Okay.
yep. Anything that's functionality in here. If I have to buy a picture, design a video, then I got to buy stuff, then we have to charge for it. But if we need to flip something that's part of the instructions, that's a help desk ticket. You send an email to help@CI Web Group and say, I want to switch my slider. Here's the picture. And they just say, okay, here's it's done, refresh. And they'll ask you to clear your cache and refresh. Okay, so that gives you lots of different options. We also built in different About Us sections. So all of these, if you have a video, all these different containers for About Us, they're all designed differently. And all of these sections, testimonials, service areas, promotions, and so forth, they're all different. Now, what we have also done is building out the promotions. Is we're building a library of every one of the promotions we've seen on all these other sites. You can leave them on, you can take them off, you can turn them on, turn them off. But we used to make it so that whatever your website cost was, it included us custom designing 3 promotions. Now when we launch a website, it has pre-configured in there over 60 promotions already created in the back office, so you don't have to buy them individually. So that's kind of what we're working on next. This will continue to get bigger. And for all of the different promotions, same thing. For any pages that you don't have content on that are included in there, essentially we'll put a web form on there. So it'll say, we provide this particular services in location 1, location 2, location 3, and surrounding areas. We've got it down to where even if somebody doesn't have the funds to be able to invest in an ongoing SEO program, we now offer one-time SEO with every single website that's launched, because we built this cool system that allows to say, replace location 1 with Sharpsburg, Mississippi or Minnesota. Replace location 2 with Cedar Rapids. Replace location 3 with Bloomington. So now we can optimize an entire website extremely fast, because we spent the time over last year building something that let us do a find and replace, just like a Word document. Make it easy. It's a lot easier. Making sure that your financing is integrated, making sure your maintenance program is integrated. Of course, you have all of the Near Me, the Amana brand information is on the site, and so forth.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are you saying that, we do rebates and stuff like
Mhm.
that? Can you connect it to our area for energy and, that kind of thing? Like,
That's harder.
okay.
Yes. That's much harder to do.
But we could
Doable.
do it, but is the Amana one, the registering Amana, is that something?
Rebates are not part of that. It's not
Just
a.
the registration of the equipment.
We do not have that right now. That's a good idea.
Okay.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I have to think
Just
about
saying.
that. Yes. Right now,
Nice to
all
have
the
that.
rebates are processed as a EGIA.
Well, it depends. There's national programs that, everybody goes to UGI, but I think we're good talking about regional energy provider rebates. So
Correct.
your local gas and electrical provider would say,
They give rebates.
put in a 16 SEER heat pump, get $500 back.
Hmm.
And they
Where-
and then also Amana has you register.
Who gets the money? Do you guys?
The customer.
The homeowner does.
usually.
Okay.
So it'd be just, I think it'd be a backlink to the state agencies or the local provider's website.
Okay.
And
And
it would
just
be a
even
customized thing
registering
to
the
do.
Amana equipment would be nice to have it on your site, because we're saying we have Amana, and they're always asking, well, where do I go to register this?
What is that? What is the registering your
So
Mana
if you go to
equipment?
amana-atc.com. And you see the warranty.
Mm.
So it'd be nice to integrate that into it.
Warranty lookup. This?
No, go back, let it load.
I'll make it a little
So
smaller.
it says product registration on top.
Oh, yep.
So if the homeowner goes here or the contractor goes here and registers and then install, the homeowner gets a maximized warranty.
If they don't, they get less of a warranty,
Oh.
and it's not registered, so it'd be nice to have that on our, if we're.
And this is the
advertising
same link no matter what, as long as it's Amana. This will be on by tomorrow, and yes, it's included in everybody's. Very smart. I love that. Thank you. Good stuff. We learn every day. Yeah. Would all of you guys use that?
For sure.
I
It'd
see.
be a very,
Wow.
very easy.
Okay.
Anyway, just so you know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
6 years later, I still didn't know.
Sure. It's okay.
That was the easiest idea we had. It's a
There you
link
go.
in the footer. Then you guys say, go to the bottom of
Right.
my website,
Right.
click on the
would
link
be
that says
very,
product
very good.
registration.
Right.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay. Thanks.
Mhm.
We have hundreds of people that owe you a thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's smart. Good, 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 good. Yeah, sometimes we don't know the process inside and
Right.
out. That's golden. This is a sample of the online scheduling system and the My Account system. This is one, I think it's $29, but essentially what it does is it allows somebody who's been to your website. Let's see if I've ever logged in here. Once somebody interacts with your website, this system will it'll save all of their information, and every time they come back to the site, it automatically logs them in. But most importantly, while I look for that, it gives everybody a My Account area, so they can see every time they scheduled an appointment with you, they can see all the communications back. They can upload pictures to that system. You can upload quotes, warranty information, product information, any kind of PDF files. This system by itself allows for customers to schedule an appointment with you. So not necessarily dispatching the sales side. So they can schedule a 15-minute call on Monday on their lunch break at 2 o'clock in the morning. They could have made that schedule, and then you guys get to communicate back and forth using the app. And you can say that it's confirmed. They can reschedule. So it helps eliminate no-shows, helps coordinate. It basically creates it so that they can book time for you to call them when it's convenient for them. You get to plan your schedule and your calls. And it gives your customers a reason to always come back to the site and bookmark your website to remember who you are. If you give them all of the stuff in paper, it's going to go into wherever, just like your paper goes. We already know what happens at our house with paper, right? But if you tell them that 100% of the things that you need that, you know, we're covering today are all on your account, loaded into your portal, now they will bookmark the website, and they're going to remember who their heating and air conditioning provider is, because that information is inside the portal. They save the site. It's always there. You can tell them, don't worry about the paper. It's always on the website. So
Online bill pay, can you set that up?
absolutely. So I'd recommend, how many of you guys are using Payzer for financing? EGIA? Okay, awesome. Are you guys taking payments through EGIA or just financing? Just financing. Okay. So this does have the ability to take payments. You can send invoices, allow people to pay bills directly on the website through this system. So if they want to make a payment on an open invoice, it's not tied to your invoicing system. So you still have to match and drop. So if you have QuickBooks over here with invoice 12345 and somebody comes to the website because they have that paper, there's a field that says 12345. They take the payment, it gets processed through Stripe or WePay or Authorize.net, and then you, in your QuickBooks system, you have to go record that you received the funds. But yes, that's doable. Okay. All right.
Is there a system that connects to pay?
Yes, when you get into that kind of operation, you're using something like Service Titan or Payzaware and so forth. Those are great systems. They're huge. So depending on the size of your company, you want to have a CRM system, a contact relationship management system. You need all your data in something, but just be careful that you don't pull the trigger on a huge system with huge expenses too early, because that hurts too. So yes, you need the data, stay organized. And QuickBooks is not the solution. If all you have is QuickBooks and that's your main account management system, we're in trouble later. That causes big problems in the future. And the Service Titan is the primary. It's huge though. It's big. So you might scale into it. There's Help Desk. There's a bunch of smaller versions of that. And Kim's going to know them like the back of her hand because everybody's got something different. Yeah, absolutely. This kind of gives you an idea of the layout of the site. Every module, every container can be dragged, dropped, moved. You saw how easy it was to shift it. So it's not about that, oh, they all look the same. Not anymore. Our old templates, it was the framework stayed the same, but the pictures and the colors and the design changed. Here, we can drag any of the containers and move them around so everything can look slightly different. And then, of course, your brand and your colors and your logo and whatever is unique, that's what makes it really stand out. Make sense? Okay. All right, so 12 steps.
You said 2, right? You're killing it.
I'm sorry. I think we kind of dibbled and dabbled in a few different things. I think I'm on step 1. So let me just do a quick summary. On the branding side, we need branding guidelines. We have a list of what we need. We need it in one folder, make your life easier. On the technical side, everything that you can get under one umbrella, under Google, your domain, your email, your folders, your calendar, everything, if it's under there, you're sitting pretty. Website, start with good framework. The framework's going to have to be replaced. It's going to be replaced every 18 to 24 months. Great part is, once you purchase this site, you don't ever have to buy another one again. It just gets better every time we install the next version of it. The next version is better. We learn. Tech, hosting, maintenance, security, all the technology. Just know going into it that unfortunately when you're first getting going with all this stuff, a piece of your budget is going to technology that doesn't make you any money. It is what it is. it is what it is, and it's part of the infrastructure that's set up. We're all in that same bucket. Content. When it comes to content writing, you either do a little bit of content for a whole bunch of pages and get to page 2 and make no money, or you do great content for one single service and location and a little marketing plan attached to it, get that thing to rank and make you some money, and then do it again. Keep doing that until you've got enough budget to afford $300 a month for Nearby Now, and to budget $300 a month for local listings, and to budget a couple hundred a month for social media. At some point, those monthly investments won't be a big deal if we focus our efforts on making you cash out of the gate, finding what can you sell in what city that we can get ranked for quickly, and get you to have a page that looks better than everyone else's, so you can win the business, so you can win the opportunity to win the business. All right. Conversion systems. How many of you guys prefer a phone call over text? Yes? How many prefer text over phone call? How many love chatbots? I love them because I can have 8 of them open and just completely psycho multitask at the same time. I'm like, Mike, we're done. Whole list is complete.
That box reminds me of calling utility companies and deal with those people.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Amex chatbot, love them, love. So, bottom line is, when it comes when it comes to conversion systems, whatever you don't have available, whoever raised their hand, you lost that percentage of the population. So if you don't have chatbot available and people like that, just pull that out of the opportunity bucket. If you don't have text available, pull that out of the opportunity bucket. Don't have online scheduling, pull that out. So if you're starting with call and contact us, how many of you guys like filling out a contact us form? Everyone says no, but it's the number one call to action on every website. Phone and contact us. Like, there's just some illogicalness to how we operate today. Most people don't like calls and don't want to fill out a contact us form, which is why they go to 5 websites, because they don't trust them, and they'll fill out a bunch of them, and now you're competing for multi. So give them what they want. They want the ability to text, let them text. They want the ability to chat, let them chat. All right.
I will tell you, this sounds crazy. I just booked an Elkhart, Colorado 2 weeks ago. And I researched the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Online, reviews, everything you can imagine, researched it. Narrowed it down to 4 different people I was going to call. Called all 4 of them, left all 4 voicemails. There's one of them I'm still waiting for a call back from. I booked the first one to call me back.
Yep.
Because to me, they were all equal at that point. First person to call me, first person to satisfy me got my business.
Yeah.
He's already cashed the check. The other 2 before even called me back.
Haven't called you back. Yeah, absolutely. Would you have texted him if it said text me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Quicker than that.
Yeah,
'Cause
quicker.
once I make a
And you would got a
decision,
response.
Don't give me any time to not make it.
Yeah, exactly. Especially here. I'm cold. Like, here you have to have minutes, because they want to know who's going to come take care of this problem.
Everything you talked about is funny. I'm checking boxes. I went to the social media content to compare what I found on the website to validate. But the last picture of an elk they posted on their Facebook page was in 2016. Off the list. I'm not even going to go anywhere.
Yes.
I'm not going to waste any more time.
Yes. It as consumers, we follow these behaviors and practices and things, kind of unwritten policies, these guidelines in our lives and our daily interactions. Then as business owners, we don't meet consumers where they are, even if we're the consumer. We have to close that gap. We have to make our business meet people where they are. We have to close that gap. That's when we win. Absolutely. All right, local listings. So, local listings, citations, directory systems, maps accounts, that's social media sites. Those are all different kinds of directories. Essentially, let me go pull directories. Okay. Here's a sample of some of the directories that we manage. Some directories are voice directories, AI. Soon they're going to be augmented reality directories. Have you guys ever put on the VR headsets, Oculus or anything? We should have brought them. You guys would stay till 4 because it's fun game night. We'd be having cocktails with some crazy headsets on by the end. But so we need so right now when you're talking to Amazon Alexa or you're talking to Google Home, does anyone have Alexa or Google Home in their house? Do you love her or hate her? Oh, I love her so much. I actually sometimes get jealous because Mike loves her. And then when she messes up, I'm like, that's right. You cannot replace me anytime soon.
She does everything.
She does. Everything. Like she messes up and I hear him get frustrated. I'm like, yeah. We will not be taken over by robot girls anytime soon. Okay. So these local directories, here's what's going to happen. You just covered this exact scenario. Their business model is to go set you up on their local listing, put a wrong phone number on there, and then customers to say, I've called this weird number. And then you call YP and you tell them, hey, you got my listing on there and it's a wrong phone number. And they say, no problem, for $250 a month, they'd be happy to let you update that. That's their business model. That's some of them. Some of them have a link on there that says claim this listing. So your competitors or your competitors' web companies, if you have a good, well-recognized brand, might just go click that button and say claim this listing. Next thing you know, their phone number's on there and they're happily answering your phone calls. That happens on a regular basis. Those we refer to in our world as duplicate suppressions. Or listing suppressions. When we see two companies trying to compete and the phone number is just different, I know it's a web company that's trying to snag one of our clients' business. So, in order to get local listings, the process. Number one, you need to own what's called your map data, NAP data, name, address, place, email. We have to make sure that whatever's in your Who Is report, your domain registrar, when I was saying don't make that information private, it needs to be your name, your business phone number, your address here. That is what Google is validating against. Your website has to have your company name, your address, your phone number, your email address. All your local directories should have the same name, phone number, email address, website address, all that stuff. So step number one is making sure that every one of those directories has the same information across the board. Step number two is, let me make this a little bigger. And I'm going to take, okay. So for this, I'm just going to look at a spot check of dealers. These are all dealers. So that's Morehart. I showed you theirs earlier. That's Smith out of Denver. Arnaz, All Hours, Amazing Air. Those are all different heating and air conditioning companies. For this particular report, there's 105 heating and air conditioning companies. We've created 6,009 local directories for them, and that's what we manage for those 105 dealers. On average, it's around 70 each. In order to get these, so see the traffic when we take on a dealer's local directories, even if they're paying a company to do their local marketing for them, they never show up with any traffic. Because you guys don't know to ask the agency, what are they doing to get traffic? What you guys are going to focus on is my company name correct? Is the phone number correct? Is what you can see correct? But the reality is if all we did was set you up on these and make sure your NAP data was correct, congratulations, you now are verified. And this is what your traffic looks like. This is what your traffic looks like. This is what your calls look like. Nothing. Every one of the dealers that starts sit here. I've never had anyone surprise me and have really good traffic. So in order for us to get traffic, because I want these things not just to show correct information, I want them to make you some money, get your phone to ring, we have to publish updates. Remember on Google Business, I was saying get that on there and then add pictures, add video, add pictures, add promotions. Publish as much as you can to that. We have the same philosophy. We have to do that to all your local directories. So for these 105 dealers, 6,000 accounts, we've done 186,000 updates to those. We have a whole team, that's all they do. So they'll go get images from your website, from your social media account. They'll snag pictures if they have to make them or create promotional graphics. They'll grab whatever they can and publish content. Make sure that they're active. Out of all of those, we have 1,466 attempts of a competitor to try and snag one of our dealers' listings. So we have to identify those and basically argue with whatever company it is to get rid of that, to suppress the listing and get it off. And then our team is constantly creating notes and tags for suggestions to make improvements. So essentially, what we want is we want the listing profiles to continue to increase. We want the views on map, views on search to go up. Most importantly, I want this number to go up. So for this 105 dealers, since they started, so this is a 3-year period, we've generated 52,000 phone calls for those dealers only on local listings. This is not their website. Totally different thing. This is only on those directory sites. Does that make sense? Okay. So technically, you could go sign up with this company. It's called Yext. You could sign up yourself and you could learn how to configure the system. You could update all of your information. Inside, let's see here. So giving you an example, for each one of these companies, we will go set up product and service menus, which have backlinks that go to interior pages on their website to make the web page move up on Google. So we have 70 websites that are really popular websites. What we'll do is go create a whole bunch of pages that are talking about furnace service in Linwood, heating replacement, furnace services, hot water tanks, AC service, and so forth. Each one of these individual pages on those local directories has a link to the interior page on your website. We're talking about getting that thing to turn into a cash machine, right? We want to make it popular. So we use all these local directories to drive backlinks to that individual page. That's what makes your page go up in Google. Does that make sense? Google's saying that other people like it. It's endorsing it, and it can tell because there's links to it. If we're the ones that are taking care of this, it's $300 a month. All 70 listings, no increases. When we add additional directories, it's always included. That is making sure all of your information is accurate, doing all of the updates and publishing of all the content, doing all of the products, menu, people, bios, all the assets for this. That's what that is. You can also do it yourself. Either one of those options. Okay. Yext is a software, which means if you go subscribe to the software and you don't use it, you don't do anything to it, it's not going to help you. If you buy Nearby Now and you don't get your guys to check in when they go on jobs and to get reviews while they're sitting with people, it doesn't do anything for you. That's software cost. What you do with it, adding it to your website, optimizing it, that's what helps. Make sense? Okay. That's local listings. And Bev's already ran all of your guys' local listings reports. So she has a report for every one of you that shows your company, all the errors for phone numbers, addresses, everything on every one of those sites, and your reviews on all those sites. So she'll give those to you as well. All right. That's the simple version of local listings, which is step number 4. It's everybody should. I mean, every business owner should own all of their directory listings. There's technically thousands. That's the top 70.
Do you get in trouble for claiming other listings?
You don't get in trouble for anything online.
Businesses that aren't in business anymore still grab it?
We have the police.
No.
The online police.
No. No,
Well,
I
I
mean,
don't know if Google's watching that and seeing that grabbing all these listings.
no, it's ruthless. So Google doesn't care about those.
Because
That's
I
not
know
their snagging your.
There's lots of listings that they're getting it from.
Yeah. No, Google doesn't care about those because it's not their business. Yeah, Google's only going to penalize you when you violate Google's requirements on a Google search, which websites they feel like they can, that's where the penalties come into. Trying to manipulate the search engine data, the results data, that's what we get in trouble for. But technically, someone's stealing your domain name, using your brand, duplicating your website, copying. We've seen literally another company copy our exact design, exact website, every piece of it, including the company name, in a different state, and throw it up. So now you're in trademark, copyrights. You have different kind of legal things you need to have in place to address that. You have to have an attorney with your actual legal trademarks and copyrights. Most contractors that I know don't have any of that in place. Actually, I just had a big conversation with Ben Middleton about the two things I think are the biggest missing elements is the legal aspect. You guys should all have terms of service. You should all have a privacy policy. You should all have proper trademarks and brand marks and so forth. You should have all those things. Now, on the flip side, as an entrepreneurial hustler, I understand why we just go to business without them. And we make it as far as we can until some tail whooping requires us to go backwards and fix it. That's how entrepreneurs work. Technically, they should be in place in advance. Right? Yes.
How about, I see that my company, I'm gonna have to go on there and verify it or whatever with Google.
Yep.
You're saying to start a Gmail account, there's no one to do that. Does that matter if I were to start a Gmail today? I mean, is that okay? It's a new email claiming this. Is that going to be?
No. So on your Google business listing, if
Yep.
you click on users, it's like the fourth tab down.
Yep.
Click on users, and then it'll say add new administrator. Click add, type in that Gmail account, change it to an admin, hit save. Your new email address is now an administrator of that account.
Okay.
All done. It won't require you to re-verify or anything.
Okay.
That one's
and it
easy.
won't matter the. Okay.
Won't matter at all. That one's an easy one. Good question. Okay, reviews, nearby now. This is the system we've been talking about. This is pricing. So this system, if you go directly to Nearby Now, it's $3.99 a month. If you go through us, we only charge $300, and that's because we have bulk discounts. Most of the time, software companies have a high rate, and if you work with an agency, they buy 100 licenses to that software, which is why so we only pay $149 to Nearby Now for this version. I totally don't think I'm supposed to disclose that, but and I'm recording, just noticing all this. And we use the $150 to staff the resources who add the pages to the website, optimize the city pages, and so forth, just so you know how it works in the background. Okay. That is an app on your phone. You check in, you say, I'm installing a new air conditioning system in XYZ, and you hit save. When you get done, before you leave the house, show them what you did, show them how to program the thermostat, ask them if they're happy. When they say yes, and not before. When they say yes, and you know they don't have a crazy attitude or didn't have a bad sleep night, then you say something to the effect of, I would really, really, really appreciate it if you could leave us a love note. I've got an app, I can send you a text message real quick, but if I don't come home with a love note, the lady in my office is nuts. Whatever. And then just pause, be quiet, and stare into their soul. They'll be like, okay. Get the review before you leave. I always tell our dealers, don't leave home without that review. Don't leave the house without that review. Get that review. It's money. Those reviews are money. When you use Nearby Now to get the review, it's money two different ways. When you just send them your Google business listing to give you a new star, great. The next person who finds you online because they're out doing research is going to like you better, and you might get that business when you might not have. When you use Nearby Now, that review content goes on a page in your website where you weren't an option previously. Now you're getting found for a new service in a new city that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to bid on that before. That's the benefit of using Nearby Now and routing those reviews. You got to do both. Google business listing, yes. Nearby Now, yes. Now, in a smaller community, Facebook reviews matter. They're looking at your Facebook page here. You guys have tighter community, closer friends. It's not like a big city where there's no personal connection, no groups, no community. Here, brand matters, community matters, Facebook matters, reviews matters. So if you're using apps like, do you guys use Nextdoor? Has anybody used that? Okay, I think that's free. I mean, if you have somebody in the office that's twiddling their thumbs, or someone at the front desk that has minutes, make them use those minutes for cash. Get them on next door, and have them hunt for, just all they do is Control F. So if you do Control F on any website and type in air conditioning, this is going to show you is that word being used anywhere on the site, anywhere, any website. So Command F. If I say AC, the word AC is being used 25 times here. So your office staff, get them to learn. Command F if you're on a Mac, Control F if you're on a PC. Type in the word HVAC, type in the word heating, type in the word repair, and they can scan site like that really fast. And then when you want to go to it, all you do is click this, and it's going to take you to each section of that entire huge page on Nextdoor. And they can start answering questions, saying, we're in the local area, we're a 5-star review, blah, blah, blah. We can help you with this. We have a tune-up special running, or whatever it is, right? And get them to start answering those requests. Okay. Back. All right, next. So Google Business, number 1, getting reviews on your website, number 2, Facebook, number 3. If you're having reviews routed to Yelp or Angie's or anything like that, they're completely invisible to everyone, and you don't own them. Just reroute your energy to those 3 sites. Social media, we call it a Keep You Alive program. It's $200 a month, and we make sure you have new content being posted on a regular basis. We design the graphics, we post them, we publish them. It's nothing real custom, so we're not sitting down having a strategy session saying, how are we going to create a campaign that generates 1,000 people clicking? We're not doing ads or anything like that, but it does make sure you always have content being posted in the form of graphics. So when you invest in graphics for social media, you're creating a permanent asset you can use next year. So let's say that you invested for 1 year on social media. Turn off the subscription because you have 12 months of graphics, and now you can start your own for year 2 and allocate that money to something else. Or we have a different program where we just design all the graphics, hand them to you, and you have somebody that can publish those graphics in your office. That's another option. If you hire a social media person and all they're doing is writing text, you don't have anything next year. You didn't build anything you can reuse. Does that make sense? Pictures, they last forever, but the text does not. That's harder. Okay.
Where are you posting it?
Facebook. That's the starting point. Yeah, start with Facebook. Now, Facebook has the ability to turn on auto post to Twitter and auto post, I think, to Instagram. Yep. So that's a button. So you don't have to hire 3 people, or you don't have to pay more to have content published. In the beginning, just make sure you have content and that it's being dispersed. But don't put a lot of money into social media out of the gate. That's another thing. When you have extra money, come back to it, make it important later. But right now, it's not important. Necessary to be current, but not important to spend a bucket ton of money on. I wouldn't want you spending money on ads or boosting Facebook content if you don't have a really great page for AC repair in the city you want to. That doesn't make sense. Make sense? Okay. All right. Search engine optimization, essentially everything we've just talked about is SEO. We're 99% there. If you accomplish the things that we just covered in step 1 through 6, we almost have an optimized page. We're getting there. How quickly it happens is if you focus on 1 primary service or 2 primary services, or if you focus on 90. If you focus on 90, it's going to take you longer. So launch a website with all the 90 pages. That's what's included in the site. But then concentrate your marketing dollars through a results plan on a smaller subset of pages. Let the other ones sit. They're not hurting anybody. Just leave them there. Come back to them when you're ready. Cash machine for each one of those. Okay. Paid advertising. We've talked a little bit about Google Guarantee. We've talked about pay-per-click. If you have to run a pay-per-click campaign, don't do it without a landing page, please. Don't send pay-per-click ads to your Google business listing. Don't send pay-per-click ads to your website. Individuals who click on ads at the top of Google have interesting attention spans. Okay, you need to send them to 1 page. Let me see if I can find you a quick example. Okay. Here's a sample of a landing page. So this is their main website from here to here. This is a landing page strictly focused on one primary topic. All the phone numbers, everything that we're clicking on here, we don't want to send them to somewhere that brings them off site. We're not going to put our social media links on here and let them go. You had to pay to get them here. So just remember, if I had to pay $40 or $20 or $60 to get you to the site, you're not leaving until you do something. That's how you have to think about spending money on ads. Don't let them go drive off somewhere else. Keep it really specific, only to whatever you paid for that add-on, and that's it. They don't get to go off into anything else. None of these click anywhere else. All it is, you can call or you can send me a message, and if you drop it down on a phone, it has 3 buttons that take up the bottom portion of the page. It says click to call, text, or schedule. That's it. The footer on any mobile device, very, very quick. Call us, text us, schedule online. Those are the only options. Clean?
That landing page is somewhere else, or is it within yours?
It's on your website. It's a separate link. So we just don't have it include your entire navigation. It doesn't have the same header. It doesn't have all the pages. It doesn't have any of that same stuff.
If somebody was on your site, they wouldn't necessarily find it.
They won't get to here. No. Now, I can't say that. Sometimes we've done that. So sometimes we've created a multi-use landing page. We were doing a list building campaign for a 1-hour air company, and we did, he was giving away a furnace. And we wound up building a huge list. I think there was over 6,000 people that registered to enter to win. So we had it on his website. We sent it on his social media accounts. Plus he did a pay-per-click campaign. He wound up building a giant list, huge database, and he gave away a furnace. It was in, his inventory was high during a certain period of time, and he was trying to get rid of an old model or something like that. And that's what he did. Lots of activity, lots of Facebook likes. He got through that.
He bought 800 people's info.
Yes.
For the furnace.
For a furnace. Yeah, it was a lot.
Which is expensive.
Yeah, it was a lot of activity. It was kind of crazy. But when he said, I want to give away a furnace, we were like, Are you sure?
But he's getting, I mean, you see contractors grasping for straws, giving away a furnace, but they have no residual return on it. Whereas something like that, if you're gonna go to that extreme home rate, what do you got left 6 months or a year or 2 years from now? He's got a database of people.
And we collected all their cell phones. We only took cell phones and email addresses. So now he can launch a text campaign like this. So when it's slow, he can send a group text to everyone in that database. It says, we're having a flash sale, $49.99 tune-up specials, first 50 to call, get access to this, limited time. And he can do that instantaneously, flood the system, and then turn it off for a moment. That's it. And I don't think he stops at 50 ever. I think that's just the language. Right? Okay. Good. All right. So on the paid advertising side, anytime you're doing that, always have a landing page. If you happen to go do a radio, my arm. If you happen to go do a TV ad or a radio ad, make it go to a landing page, make a specific phone number or call tracking number on there, measure what you're doing. So you can decide if you want to do it again next year. It's okay to test. We should all test. Everything we do is testing, quite frankly. But track it. Really track it. Content marketing is essentially a reminder that you're never done producing content. We have to continue to add content to pages that are underperforming. We have to add new content, but if a website stays static, Google has no reason to come back and crawl it if there's no changes. So Google has a bot that comes to a site, scans it, and says, okay, no changes. I'll come back in 7 days. Comes back again 7 days, no changes. I'll come back again in 14 days. Comes back again in 30 days, no changes to the website. It's not coming back for 2 months. So you need Google to crawl and re-index your page. It needs to say, I came and scanned you. You're better today. Let me move you up a little. But when we don't make changes to the site and it sits there static, there's no reason for it to come back and re-rank you. So we want to keep adding content. Step 10, email, text, print, and scan. Essentially, this is a reminder that every one of you has a database, and that database has got to be used. We've got to make sure that we're not always trying to acquire new customers, but we're going back to our old prospects, old leads, current customers, and we're trying to reinvigorate those relationships, add-on services, referral business, rewards programs. Maybe it's that you're hosting an open house, or maybe the weather gets a little better and you guys do a cookout, or maybe you have something to keep that database, because ideally your gold mine is sitting in that database. How many of you guys have maintenance programs? Paid, not free. Okay. On recurring schedule, where you have monthly retainer income. Credit card on file, not invoicing. Okay, so we'll just be real on this. If I sign you up in the summer is when you guys are selling maintenance agreements, or during your peak season, I would agree. Is that right? In the middle of winter, in the middle of summer? And then when do you guys do your maintenance work? Shoulder or primary season? Shoulder seasons? Okay. If you sold them on something that you have to invoice them, the amount of labor is ridiculous when it works. When the program grows and you have a tremendous amount of maintenance agreements and you have to sit and have somebody send out and mail out invoices, you almost are having to resell that customer every year. So if your staff is X, Y, and Z and your maintenance agreements grow and you have to resell all of those, that makes no logical sense. When the entire world and everyone in here loves paying monthly fees for stuff. We all pay monthly fees. Our phones, now it's required to pay a monthly fee. You can't even go buy it from a Verizon. They make you pay a monthly fee for this. Why do they do that? Locked in, 2-year contract, right? Absolutely. If I could walk into Verizon and just buy the phone, I'll cancel my Verizon thing and take it over to AT&T because I get irritated with them dropping my bandwidth on it. But they have my dang phone on a payment plan for so long. I'm stuck. So everything we do is financing. If you can, we can install something on your website that allows you to take a credit card through subscriptions, have it auto bill the card every single month, then you don't have to resell a customer or send out invoices. It's just an auto subscription. They sign up, it's $29, $12, $9.95, whatever you decide on a monthly basis, and that includes one blank on an annual basis. We change out your batteries and your thermostats. We test your security systems. Whatever you put in there to make it cool, they'll keep it. There are plenty of people who will subscribe to that. For you guys, you have monthly recurring income. Your business is the difference between MRE and MRR. Monthly recurring income, monthly recurring expenses. The difference is your margins. The more you can get that MRE up, the less that shoulder seasons hurt. Okay? Would you add anything to it? Did I miss anything?
No, I think that you just look at everything other than eating food, your dentist, your whatever it is, your oil change. Wouldn't it be nice for your automatically every 3 months you have an appointment at the auto dealership that works? Or they call you and say, hey, my chiropractor calls me, hey, you haven't been in this. Cool, I'll be in Amana 10 o'clock. Great. But that's the kind of service that, as a consumer, you're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm never going to leave my chiropractor or my dentist because
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it.
I don't have to think about it.
They just call me and it's done.
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes I think people are nervous to pick up the phone. It feels like they're selling them. A friendly reminder goes a long way. Goes a long way. It helps us in our crazy old lives we have right now. All right, that's that. Next video. At some point, we need to duplicate ourselves. I'm recording my screen because I'm going to make copies of this class today. I'm going to dissect these. My video guy is going to take 2.5 hours in the first session, an hour and a half in the second, and the last 2 hours, and he's going to turn it into 60 to 75 clips of 5-minute segments where there's some kind of relative piece of content from this workshop. It's going to upload it to YouTube, give a title to it. My social media team's going to take that video, start spinning it out for us. Our web team's going to take it and put it on the pages that it makes sense for it to go on, and all I did was come to a class that's going to last forever. So in this environment, when it comes to producing content, we tend to say, I'm busy being busy, I can't produce content. But we wake up like Groundhog's Day, 5 a.m., and that clock rings and we say the same thing every dang day, all the time. And don't make it permanent. So at some point, we have to be like, Take what's in your head. You guys are geniuses in your industry. Bless you. You know this better than anyone else. You've seen everything you shouldn't do. You know everything that you should do. Everything that you would warn a customer about. Everything you would tell a client. Don't hire a blank if blank, blank, and blank. Don't buy a blank if blank, blank, and blank. Why would you buy a too big of a system and the capacitor and the stuff and you know this. You guys are geniuses. The things that make my head hurt. Like you spit it out and go, this is why you wouldn't do that. I got a quote. I thought I knew heating and air. My quote said variable, 2-speed, something speed. And I was like, whoa, no clue. How am I supposed to decide? So take what you know. Don't hide it in your office. Get it online. Get in front of a video camera. Whatever you look like and you sound like, it is what it is. We all present every single day. Make copies of yourself. If you have to say the same thing with your team, digitize it. If somebody makes you say the same thing over and over again, I need it to be like the worst crooked picture where it drives you crazy to have to repeat the same thing over and over, and you pause your business and you get it, record yourself on, right now I'm recording my screen. It's free. It's a screen recorder. Everyone has one of these. You can record. Whoever's around, if you come back from your appointment talking to the roof of your car, you know what kind of an appointment that was. And you see him walk in, you go, hang on, but what happened? And get used to it. Even if you don't use that content, get used to going, I was recently out on an appointment, and the things I saw today, I want to make sure anybody who's in the same situation is aware that they shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. So first of all, right, have that conversation. And I'm sorry, but make him do it until he's comfortable. Somebody needs to put some pressure. Okay? Get used to doing that, because you guys, if we can make copies of you, you won't have to wake up and say, if there was just more of me, we'd be fine. I want you on vacation next year. I want you, when it gets this cold, you need to get out of here. You need to leave and go somewhere warm. Right? You need to go somewhere where you have an umbrella in your drink and sand in your toes. And you can do that when you digitize yourself. When we take everything that's in your amazing brain and all your experiences and get it into a place where people can find it while you go do something else, your team included, you guys are closer to time, money, and freedom than you were today. Okay, that's my
It's
little.
a culture thing too. I mean, everybody, we talk, this all bleeds into one, everything's connected. But if you're expecting your staff to check in on you by now, or to do reviews, or to do videos, and you're not doing it, there's zero accountability. Nobody's gonna do it. You gotta be the leader. We all know that, but like Jennifer's been saying, what we expect as a consumer and what we do as business owners, there's always this disconnect.
That's real. That's real. Even as, yeah,
It's the busy season.
rocking chair,
Yeah.
always moving. It's hard to move forward in a rocking chair. Try it. You got that visual with me, didn't you? Okay. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick, and I'm gonna do better than 2:30. I'll get you to 2, but I want you to see something. If this loads for me. Okay. So much for the PowerPoint, huh? Okay. I'm going to go to this chart for just a second. So for many of you guys, the answer is yes to the top question. Are you an option for something that somebody is searching for? The answer is yes. I've seen your guys' website show up in different places. Here's how predictable your business can become once the answer is yes to everything. Every search term has a certain number of queries. So in the small city again was Cohasset. In that location, there are a certain number of times that AC repair is queried for during the AC window, right? A certain number. It might be 11. Might be
Spikes
10.
when you're in town.
So, whatever that number is, that number is that number. We can't change demand. Okay? I can't change demand. The only way I could change demand is if I took a rifle and got in the back of a truck and I drove through neighborhoods and caused a need. Right? You get my drift. That's the only way I can change it. Natural disaster or sniper. Okay? Otherwise, it is whatever it is in that area. So, let's say that it is 100. The number of impressions, the percent of that 100 people searching for it, or 10 people searching for it, whatever it is, the percent of impressions is going to depend on how many eyeballs. So it's how many of that 100 actually saw your company. So that's going to depend. If you're not doing Google Guarantee, the percentage goes down. If you're not in the ads area, the percentage does go down. And I'm not a huge advocate of ads. If you're not showing up in Google Maps, the percentage goes down again. If you're not showing up in the top 3, the percentage drops drastically. And if you're not showing up in 4 through 10 on page 1 organics, the percentage went to null. Okay? So the more of those rankings, I can't remember which website, I think it was yours, RNS, where you owned 3 listings on one page. So your percentage is higher because you had 3 of the 10 organic spaces. So your percent or your impression share of those 10 people looking for that or 100 is higher, right? Everyone has a click-through rate. That is a number that's in your Google Analytics. Of the 10 people that saw your business, how many of them clicked? If you guys remember when I was on the search results and I was saying if you change this language in your description underneath your listing, it'll help. That little description matters because you were seen, they saw your listing, but did they click? Did they go there? Did they take action? That's a click-through rate. It's a mathematical number. You have a percentage, so your click-through rate might be 10 or 5 or 15 or whatever it is. You have another number called the bounce rate. Of that 5 people that actually clicked, 2 of them left. That's your bounce rate. 2 of them came to the site and they left. They didn't like what they saw. And then you have your conversion rate. 3 people filled out the form, if they like filling out contact us forms, or 1 person filled out the form, the other one clicked to call, and the other one was looking to either chat or text because it was midday during a work day. So now you lost another one. So now, out of the total number of searches, we know 2 people click, and now you have your own conversion ratio of how many of those phone calls, when you get to talk to someone, do you acquire as a customer, paying client. So let's say it switched. The math. Once you're in a position where you know these numbers, you can get to a point where you are a proof of progress kind of person, where what matters to you is how many of my pages are on page 1 of Google. Did it go up 1 space? Like, be happy. It's exciting when it goes up a space. It's exciting when it goes up 7 spaces. It's exciting when it goes up 12, right? That is proof of progress. Even if it's not making you money, getting to the point where you're comfortable being happy with proof of progress. Your click-through rate is going up because you're adding better promotions, because the pictures on the site are more attractive, because the page layout looks better, because now you have a video. They stay on the page longer. Your bounce rate decreases because now you have a video of your story when you were talking to the top of your car. That's interesting. I'm sticking around. I want to pay attention to this page now. You have my attention, right? Every single thing that you do, this times what your average ticket price is and your margin for installation versus repair, I can predict the future. And you can literally say, I have the ability, based on the math today, to earn $90,000 for this service in this city. I have the ability to earn $10,000 for this service in this city, because the math is going to tell you exactly. There's only 10 searches in that small little city, and your impression share is smaller because you only have one listing. So maybe you have 10% impression share, and that turns into one person's coming to the site, and you got a bounce rate of 80, you ain't making no money there. Does that make sense? So at some point, you want to get to the point where when you sit down with your agency and you're playing this game, you are an option, and you're working on improving the numbers, showing progress, that you have the ability to literally pinpoint how much money you can make for any service in any city, that you can predict the future. It'll help you with budgeting, it'll help you with cost control, it'll help you with hiring, it'll help you with everything. It'll help you focus so we're not so scattered. We tend to have ADD as business owners. Too much. We're excessive in a box. So this visibility rank, you should always have some of what you're working on invisible. Otherwise, however much money you're bringing in, that plateau you can bank on every single month. You're not growing. If you're not doing something new that's not visible, then whatever, if you're at max, you're at max. If you own, and let me show you a real example of this. So I'm going to go AWR. This is our advanced web rankings. All of our SEO clients have this. Okay. So this percentage is a visibility percentage. Whatever is on a website, 10 pages, 90 pages, 300 pages, doesn't matter. This is the percentage of those pages ranking on page 1 of Google that owns some of the impression share. If your percentage is 92% of your website is sitting on page 1 of Google and you don't add any new pages, any new content, whatever it does at that moment is what it does. You can improve the conversions by making those pages better, or you can add more content to make it broader, which means you're going to add more pages to the site that aren't ranking. They're going to be below the fold. No one's going to see them for a while. And then eventually they'll climb up into the visibility thing. Then you improve. This visibility just says that you're an option. Are you the best is how perfect that page is, how great your promotion is, how great the content is on that page. Make sense? Okay. The number. Yo, shoot.
Is there anything alphabetical about how things come up on the web?
No, that's only yellow pages. That was a phone book kind of logic. Right here, I know for a fact they haven't changed anything in their marketing plan for a long time, and they're sitting in that place, and they will be there for a very, very long time. That each one of these, all these 90-somethings, means, so these guys are just starting to climb up. This is what a newer customer that launches. They didn't exist. They weren't showing up on page 1 of Google. Now 57% of their website is ranking. That's progress.
What is the KW small ones?
That's the number of keywords they're ranking for. Good question. So I'll show you. These guys are a little different because when we call and say that your visibility ranking, we're at max capacity, they'll say, okay, what do we do next? So we will decide, do we want to improve the pages that already exist? Like right now they're heavily focused on solar, so that's big. They just added 3 plumbing guys. Or do we add a new service so that they have more resources to provide a different kind of service? So we added electrical, we added plumbing, they added solar.
I know that you had said every 3 months or something, about 3 months checking in. Is that what you kind of do, is follow up
Yeah.
with the customers?
Yeah, our team will send out a notification that says it's time for a strategy call.
Okay.
That means we've got enough data. Now, having our
What do we
clients
like?
show up for that is different,
Oh.
but they do send out and ask.
Okay.
And sometimes our team will, we'll have someone call in and they'll say, well, I want to do blank. And our team will say, I can't do it unless you promise to show up for the calls. We're not going to do it because we need the help. Yes.
Is this something that if this group were to go back into the business next week and call their current provider and say, can you tell me how many pages of content I have and where they rank in Google, that they should, their legitimate partner, be able to provide that data?
If they're on a marketing plan, yes. If they're not, if they just bought a website, so for everyone in here, if you just buy a website is like buying a business card. You have to hand it out. You got to hand out that business card. A website by itself is not. But if you add marketing to the website, now you're doing activities that are making the website grow, become more popular. Yes, absolutely, they should know those numbers. They should be able to tell you what your click-through rate is, what your bounce rate is, how many pages do you have on your site, and what's the rank for those pages, even average position for those pages. So on this is showing for electric furnace service in Ferndale, Washington. This page is position number 1. Their home page is position number 3. This one is saying in a different city, so Burlington, Washington. What do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell it? So we're still on the same service, different city. This page is position number 1. This page is position number 2. So their impression share increases because they have more than one page ranking.
Did you say they were on the one that follows them? Whenever it's nearby?
Nearby now, yeah.
Is that why?
Absolutely.
Okay, so they're using the data and they're positioning it even.
All they do is they get check-ins and they get reviews for us, and then we go build pages and optimize them to get them to rank.
Specifically for
That city, yes.
city.
Each individual city. So this is Burlington, this is Blaine. So for Blaine, they only have, this is a nearby now page. So how you can tell the difference, and this should be the logic in yours. When your web agency makes a page that is focused on a city outside of the 3 your main web, so your website can only really focus on 3 cities. Your primary city you have an address in for your Google business should be the first one. So it should say AC service and repair in blank. That's where you have an address. Blank and blank, don't care. That should be whatever you can win in. Right? Okay. That one needs to be in there. Whatever you can win at should be next. Same thing in this one, and then it should say in surrounding areas.
So proximity is valuable, but not necessary. Not
Yep.
necessary. Where can I win?
Where can you win?
Not the next town next door.
Yes, but
Okay?
if it's a 1-person shop, 2-person shop, proximity is critical. So if it's 1 or 2 people, focus everything you have on the city you have an address that has the least amount of driving and time wasting as possible. And then as you add resources, start thinking about logistics. Do you deploy your technicians from your office, or do you deploy them from their homes? You guys tell me. Do they both? Okay. So wherever your guys live, that's your second priority city. From a financial standpoint, if they live in blank and the office is here, that's my second city. Because I want them to go boom, 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 boom. I don't want them to go way all over everywhere. So
One other strategy is if you're gonna buy out better, maybe you have a 2-year plan, but you wanna scale your business, you wanna start in that market like now.
yes,
So in 12 months, 18 months from now, you're above the line.
yes.
So this is interesting.
There's so many different ways to do this, and there's pros and cons to everything. Nothing's ever a straight win or loss. It's a decision. And
So
then
your
when you,
acquisition might be town number 2,
yes,
and you may work with you guys to make sure that happens now, so that in a year from now.
you're ready. Yes, so for these guys,
Sorry to steal all your guys' thunder.
it's very good, and it is interesting. Once you get it, now it's a mathematical game you can play and win. When you don't get it, it's this, this pothole of garbage, this whole thing. But once it starts to make sense, you start thinking about, how can I go win that territory? How can I go win that city? How can I go win that service? How can I increase specifically my cash in this area? It gets much easier. These guys had a really interesting piece to it. In Washington area, everything is on islands. We have 200 and something thousand San Juan islands. So they were literally having to get on a ferry and sit for 2 hours in a line to go do work. We had to be real careful that we don't optimize something that causes them to drain their resources, time, or money. Okay? But that gives you an idea. Watching this number matters. So you'll see here, heat pumps Arlington, this is just what we were talking about. For heat pumps Arlington, Washington, 7 days ago they were number 2. They moved up 1 position. Now they're number 1. 7 days ago, Central Air Conditioning System, Bellingham, Washington, was number 3. Now they're number 1. The percentage difference is huge when you go from 4 to the top 3. Huge, huge, huge as far as your conversions go. This particular ductless air conditioning system, Clinton, Washington, no clue, is now, it moved up 10 positions. So 7 days ago, no money, no visibility, not making anything. Doesn't exist. 10 position increase and in a 7-day period, my guess is they got a phone call now, right? So we want to, and it moved up to number 1. That's a great jump in 7 days. Some of this, when it comes to this, a lot of it is time, and it's time and personality. If you stress by nature, this SEO is going to wear you out. It's going to be hard to stay positive while you're number 2 million trying to get to number 1. And everything I said in this class is going to go out the door because you're spending money without making it. And that is a frustrating period of time for any business owner. I understand it. The hard part is really knowing that's going on and smiling through that process and just watching that number to go, okay, now I'm number 14. Now I'm number 12. Now I'm number 7. And knowing that top 3, the first page of Google is an entirely different process. We could launch your website tomorrow and have you on page 2 of Google for 300 phrases that you didn't exist for, because now you have a giant website with all these new pages. But moving those pages to number 1, that's a different ballgame. Like, we got to go to work. The one-time SEO is not going to do it. We're going to have to go to work, add content, add these other things. And that's where marketing comes in. And just the hard part is not getting angry in the middle. I tell everyone, you're not going to like us in the first year. You know, here you don't have very much competition, so you're going to like us sooner than later. But in Florida, I have to tell them, you're going to hate us in the first year, because they're going to be investing for at least 12 months before they see any return on that investment. And it's a frustrating place to be in. So go into it knowing that, so that you don't get frustrated and bow out. You don't quit. You don't make all this progress, quit, go somewhere else, and then lose all that progress. Stick to it and commit to the process and make it happen. Cool? Okay. So, is this helpful? Yes? Okay. Would you recommend they hold this kind of class again? Would you come back if we did it again? Okay, that was your query. Okay. Fantastic. So, it's 2:07. What I would love to do is have you guys let us know. Just make sure we have your contact information. So in that text, you guys all text us. Did everyone text us earlier? Okay. So text this number right here. Let me make it bigger for you. 877-839-1122. It's this top number right there. And type in the word workshop. And then can all of you guys text that number back and make sure we have your website address. So type in your website address, your name. I don't need your phone number because that's the text covers that. And then let us know what times work for you guys to meet tomorrow. And you don't have to come here. We'll just schedule a call where we'll send you a meeting invitation and you jump on a call at that time. If it can be with Mike and I, great. We're staying at the Hilton. If it's with Bev or Kim or Chris, we have a whole team of people that are amazing. We can dive into your specific scenario, help put together a plan for you if that's what you want, or give you input to take back to your current web company if you want to head that path. If you want to do it yourself, same thing. We just want to help with any direction that you would like to go. Okay?
So if we are gonna go, not physically here, but,
Yeah.
just get the times in, you guys will call.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's getting these messages right now, so she's going to start coordinating you guys on different meetings. If she hasn't already texted you or messaged you, just tell her what times work for you tomorrow. Maybe give her 2 options. or 2 or 3 options, and then we'll get those meetings set up and go to town. Try and make it easy. Any questions before we get out of here?
I've talked a lot, and I
Yes.
apologize, it's just who I am. I'm highly invested in everyone's success.
Yeah.
And so I like to drive the bus, but two things I wanna do. Number one, I wanna thank Johnstone for putting on this kind of a training, not just about the nuts and bolts and the igniters and charging systems that our industry begs for training. They took a big risk by booking this training, and I just wanna commend them for doing that on your behalf. Number two, I wanna thank you guys for coming, because our industry's chock full of job owners who think they're business owners, right? And they make it hard for business owners to own a business in this trade. And we need more business owners than we do job owners. And this is the kind of stuff that business owners work on and train on and think about, not about igniters and flame sensors and charging systems. So I just want everyone in this room, our industry, we don't get enough accolades, but I just want to thank you guys all, and I just appreciate not just your business, but your good. So let's just keep rolling. 2020 is gonna be good. 21, the future is wide open in our industry for this kind of stuff.
Really is. This is why we love it. You guys can compete and win. There's 101 industries that are too saturated to do anything worth anything, and those are struggling entrepreneurs. You guys have the ability to compete and kick some tail and take some names.
In
Let's get
5
stuff.
years, you could have the best install team and the highest paid service guys, but if the homeowners don't like you or can't find you, it's worthless. It's not valuable. I mean, this is the future. I mean, it's already here, but for our industry, it's the future.
It's not going backwards. We have these young kids they take over those shops, they play with the clients, they understand, they know what it is. You want to steal here, let's steal there, you gotta get that.
Yeah.
They're getting their life out.
The
I'm
funny thing is when
scared
I
of
said
our
the
kids.
platform team
I'm
was
scared.
played,
I am. I'm gonna work for
they're
them
making
soon. I
mental
know it.
notes of all the customers that need this, cause they don't even have websites. And I said, I'll bet you, what did I tell you, Corey? For Trent, maybe it was Trent, but I said the customers that will show up are the ones who have good websites.
Yeah, everyone here has a website.
Yeah.
Because they're just gonna sharpen their spear while all their competitors sit back,
It is.
hand them out, hand them out, hand them out, and here you guys are. So kudos.
Yeah, kudos.
We've actually seen, dealers that came into our events, the next year, they're on vacation. They automatically do that. They're supposed to be charging their and she'll say, I'm surprised she can say this time.
They argue.
Summertime, I want everybody to take a vacation, everybody, she said that before everybody was
Impossible. You don't know my industry.
That doesn't sound like us at all.
I like it when I have somebody who attended a workshop from 2 years ago sitting next to the naysayer, because they're like, my wife and I attended this class and felt the same way 3 years ago. Trust me, we're on our 3rd vacation this year. It's good. Like, it happens. It does.
Yeah, there are customers in Minnesota, or our customers that, I can speak for that we're not sitting here today, but they, everything that was going on here, I'm like, oh yeah, that's, okay, I know exactly who this is, you know, it's things like that.
Yeah.
Partnership that we haven't done years ago, so.
And
By
I
the
wanna
way,
add that,
yes.
you know, you do these improvements and be found and get the phone right, answer the damn phone.
Not like this. AC.
Call your competitors. Nobody answers their phone when they complain on your business. And answer it.
That's why we
all
listen to all the
24 hours a day.
calls.
You actually listen to
Some of these chat things,
Yeah.
I bet you we get 10+% of our business is just because in the evenings, people don't wanna call. Even when they know you, they don't wanna bother you away. They'll hit the chat and call, and go back and forth. And at least it creates a trail that you know they called. Even if you don't call them back that night, you get emails, you get all this stuff that you know they contacted you. And it always converts. They took the time to communicate with somebody. They're
Yeah.
too scared to call you. but not scared enough they do wanna talk.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, if any, I do appreciate all of you. If any of you are willing to jump on a video, just stand in front of that tablet or stand in front of one of these computers or sit and say what you thought of the class today, we would greatly appreciate it. And we'll have this little special bonus for everyone that takes the time to do that, because I know everybody wants to get home. Other than that, thank you so much to Johnstone, and thank you to all of you guys. You guys rock.
Thank you for your time, everybody. Appreciate it.